Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got a Q&A going on. It's been about 6-7 days since we put that video up. And we're actually going to start with one that somebody posted and then immediately deleted. But what they don't know is that I still see those, and so I'm still answering it, whether they like it or not. So the first one we're going to start off with is, are traps gay? Now, a lot of internet controversy, so we're going to give a funny answer, and we're going to give a real answer, because it has some sides to it. First of all, are they gay? Hella. Anyways, serious answer. If you're attracted to somebody and you're attracted to the feminine nature of them, then that's still pretty on the straight side. However, in the end of the day, if they're awesome, it doesn't matter. Do what you wish. Swing all the ways if you so please. Anyways, starting from the written list, Weird Al asks, what's an SCA? Alright, so I actually get a couple questions about these. The SCA stands for the Society of Creative Anachronism. It is, I like to say that it's a reenactors group, but it's not. It is, I think the better word is Renaissance Revival. I think that's like how they want to word that, because it's not like a reenactor is someone who aims to, like, one-to-one scale replicate history. They're the ones that will research what kind of underpants they wear, what kind of shoestrings they have, like down to the teeth. We don't do that. There are people who do that, and you can strive as much as you want to do it, but it's not required. People can show up in blue jeans, and they're going to get just as many drinks, and they're going to be just as cool. They'll just be kind of frowned upon because, I mean, you should dress up. So it's kind of like we're reenacting, but we're reenacting the cool bits of, like, not the cool bits, the good bits of history. So in the parts where no one's a peasant, everyone's treated well. You can wear any colors you want, because if you didn't know, there are parts of history where you couldn't wear like reds or purples or anything like that. Those were noble colors, and you could get arrested. You can only have so many buttons on your tunic, and we're not about that. We're here to have fun and dress funny and drink. And fight. I'll get to that later because there's a question about it. So, thank you, Al, for bringing that up immediately. So, next one is from Exotic. I'm dyslexic. Exotic G. How gay is Killjoy Roger, and why are you such a Chad? Only because he keeps saying the moo thing after everything I do? Hella. I love Killjoy Roger, though. He's one of my favorite people to do stuff with. He's fun to play with, and it's fun to be in his Discord. Why he's such a Chad? I don't feel like I'm too chatty. I think it's just because of the Highlander thing. There's a certain aura that comes, certain air that comes with Highlander and what he do. So I don't feel like I'm super chatty, but you know, to each their own. I'll accept you if that's what you think. But how dare you? Weird Al actually writes back immediately, the same day. It says, what's your safe word? You know, my go-to is meatball sub, but sometimes it weirds people out, so sometimes, like, orange. Orange is like something like you don't really say. I have had one situation where the safe word was parkour, because you would never say parkour during sex. Good times. Really, really great questions, Al. I'll remember this. Next one's from Massive Gat. Do you play single-player games often? If so, what was your favorite game you played within the past year? Actually, as of the recording of this, my favorite single-player game so far is Outer Worlds. I'm having a lot of fun with that. It's my friend Spencer and I are game grumping it, so he's playing and I'm watching him and contributing to story. So like, it's a team thing. Like, is that a good option to pick? Like it's almost like a council. Like, we make a choice. However, before that, my favorite single player, which I guess you can count as a single player, was Dying Light. I really love Dying Light. I'm looking forward to Dying Light 2. Whoop whoop. I played the crap out of that. I got reset by that, and I played it to max twice. So, good stuff. But before that came out, even before then, my favorite was Journey. I love Journey. Super simple game. I think you'd still pick it up. If you haven't played it, it's worth exactly 5 playthroughs, and then you kind of get done with it. But real pretty game. Really love that. Let me knock off on the microphone. Pick up the phone again. I hate being dyslexic. Caleb Pack writes in, what's your favorite game outside of For Honor, and have you heard of Kingdom Come Deliverance? I think you would enjoy it. So I actually get a lot of suggestions about Kingdom Come. I have it. I'm looking at it over my microphone. I have it sitting over there. So, Kingdom Come Deliverance is a mixed bag for me. So, Kingdom Come itself is a beautiful game. It's well researched. It's very authentic. It has a lot of good things, but where it falls short is I think they did... It's kind of like For Honor, where instead of... For Honor has a little bit of story and a lot of fighting, and a lot of playtime, and very little roleplay aspect. Kingdom Come is kind of the opposite. Where the fighting isn't nearly as polished in Kingdom Come, the role-playing aspect and the story are very drawn out, and they're in a good way. They're very flushed, and they're full of flavor, and it's very authentic and real. And I love history, especially of that time period. And I think that takes place like 14th, 15th century. And it is like absolutely wonderful how much character they put into all the people and the architecture and the artwork. They did their research. Where I think they fell short is I don't really like the gameplay. If it was just a role-playing game, I would probably play it a lot more. But the fighting is clunky, in my opinion. The fighting's clunky, it's not intuitive, it's weird, it's staggered, and when it launched, of course, there's a bunch of glitches, but they fixed most of those later. The core thing is, like, while I want to be a cool swordsman and do a story and all those things, it wasn't smooth enough. So until they may never fix that issue. It's kind of an engine problem. If they fix that issue, I'll probably play through it. There's just so much to it that, like, the first 30 minutes of it, I did not enjoy it. I got it for $15, and it was not worth $15. I'll put it that way. Game is beautiful. The playing of it is not. So, moving on from that. The Tubby Pirates asks, hey Guard, I was curious, how old are you? And secondly, what YouTubers do you watch? Alright, so the first part's really easy. I'm 23. I'll be 24 on the 10th of December next month. And YouTubers, oh wow, I actually watch a bunch of them. Like, legitimately watch a bunch of them. I actually still have my paperwork from yesterday's video, so that's a easy way to start. Like Hounded Terra, Thunders Gaming, Oh My Gosh, More Abound, Kinzo, Killjoy Roger, Familiar Gaming, Fiend of Ondar, Toxic TV. Those are like immediately out there because it's all For Honor stuff. But I also watch like King Misty and like I watch some weird ones. Like I'm a big fan of like Kitchen Nightmares, so I watch them. And I suppose it's not YouTubers, it's still. Let's see if there's any other YouTubers off the top of my head. I know there's like one more I'm forgetting. Who are they? Come on. Oh, like Dark Dally. Because of Ghost Recon. I love Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint, so I watch a lot of their vids too. And there's some bigger ones up there, but as far as like the real big ones, like I watch Game Grumps and I watch Markiplier and those people, but there's way too many to name, so those are the ones just that are they're easy to run through really quickly. I love a lot of them though. Chances are, if you make For Honor content, I probably watch you. I'm a big fan of a lot of people. Okay, next one. Weird Al, god dang it, there's another one. I appreciate you asking so many questions. Why do fire hydrants not freeze when the temperature drops? And do you ever use a different sword? And I clarified, he means my Highlander sword. So, I actually know the reason why fire hydrants don't freeze. When the fire hydrant's valve is turned off, it automatically opens the drain valve, so a fire hydrant just chilling there doesn't have any water in it. But as soon as you open the valve, the drain valve goes off, plugs up, or however you want to look at it, and immediately water comes up. That's why they don't freeze, because that happened. That was a thing when they were working around that design a long time ago. So, there's that. I don't know why anyone would assume that I would know the answer to that, but I did, so you assumed right. And do you ever use a different sword? I change swords about as many times as Highlander gets a buff. So, like, twice. When I started playing, I used almost this exact same sword. I used for a while I used the Defender stuff, the Defender kit, but then I swapped to a couple variations here and there that didn't stick, because it's like, new styles, but I was just growing as a Highlander. And then I got, I was kind of like, I thought it was really cool that some of the larger Highlanders were using basic swords, like just the normal Hardy blade, the one you start with. So I used that for a really, really long time, like 40 reps. And only recently, in my last 10 reps, did I change to this sword because I really like it. I explained in the other video why I liked it so much. So, do you ever use a different sword? No. Actually, I only have one outfit for Highlander. This is it. And this is how he'll look for a long time until I get tired of it. Next question. The Fiend of Ondar writes in, you did SCA. That's cool AF. Did you ever get into HEMA stuff? I'm going to put this into two parts because like these are actually kind of in-depth parts. It's a really big question. So, we're going to get what the ever did in the regular HEMA stuff. I didn't. My introduction into European martial arts was through the SCA exclusively.
Time is running out.
I know it's running out. So, with the SCA, like, that was like the only thing I did. It's not due to I dislike HEMA. I actually really love HEMA. And I watch like Scala Grim and Schola Gladiatoria. And I love their stuff, like, to death. I watch it a lot. Two more YouTubers I love. But the issue is that in the town or city I live in, the SCA was free. I could go learn from a formal fencing master who's been doing it for like 20 years. And he charges nothing. Like, he's a wonderful person, very genuine, and really skilled at fencing. He is the best rapier fighter I've seen in my area, for sure. That's why he's a master at it. That being said, with him being so good at what he does and doing it for free, the local HEMA school, which I won't name, sorry, throat's run out. They charge a good bit. I don't know the exact prices, but it's more than free. And just out of, when I started fencing, I was working at Walmart, so I didn't have a lot of extra money. So that was really the big window. It's like, well, they don't charge any, and they're really awesome. And then, like, the bonus of it is, like, I get to dress funny sometimes on weekends. And so that's really cool. The HEMA school does not do, they do just martial arts. And that's cool, that's what that is. But the SCA is a lot more than that. It does, like, they do drinking and archery and combats. But they also do, like, what I did a lot, which is guard duty and other, like, minor tasks that just, like, improve visuals. And does, like, little trivial duties. So that's a good question, by the way. I'll post, like, while I was saying that, I'll remind myself to put up pictures of some SCA stuff that I was doing. So, next part of that question. What is your favorite armor and melee weapon style from any point in history? It doesn't have to be from the same time and place. Well, this is going to be a winded conversation. So my favorite armor. I'm super biased because I love European armor. But I also really like other armors from other time periods and cultures. Like, I really do love Japanese armor and weapons and such like. But we'll split this into armor and then weapons. So, for armor, my favorite is Gothic European armor. That's the one you see where it has all the fluting in the armor and has the sallet and the bever. Like, that kind of classic men-at-arms or knight look. I'm really into that. And when it gets fancier, it gets even cooler. I'm super into it. My favorite weapon? So I'm actually going to have to choose two, because I have two favorite weapons, and they're from different time periods. I have a favorite sword. My favorite sword is the Great Sword, as ambiguous as that name is. That's including the 16th century Zweihander. It's including like the Montante, the Spadone, or also known as the Spada a due mani, sword of two hands. Zweihander, the great sword from the Celtic regions, because there's a couple that come from there. I own one actually. It's chilling next to me, hanging on the wall. And so I just love great swords. They're big, they're magnificent. And more particularly, like, they're very important for guards and other sort of stationary roles or holding points. It's not a coincidence why I play Highlander, by the way. I love great swords. So, and then the other weapon is the poleaxe. Not this one. More realistic poleaxes. I think they took some flavor liberties with Lawbringer's poleaxe, and that's fine. They can do that. It's a game. But I love the real ones. They're handy. They're handy. They're versatile. They have a whole bunch of ways to hurt somebody, and they're really cool weapons. And fighting with one, I've done only a little bit of sparring with poleaxes. They're so cool. The fighting for that is so skillful and masterful, and it's super cool to watch. So, yeah, great sword, poleaxe, gothic armor. That's my stuff. That is my stuff right there. Alright, and we're down to the last question, which comes from Delta Knight. Saltiest moment in For Honor. This actually has two parts. Saltiest moment in For Honor, and the moment in For Honor that makes you say, this is why I keep playing. So, the first one, saltiest moment, would actually happen when I was around rep 40... No, it was before that. It was like rep 30-ish, because the Wulin had come out just after that? Or the Wulin came out just after this happened. Yeah. I was fighting a gladiator as a Highlander, and he was legitimately the most toxic person I've run into. He was emote spamming, he was just being all around like, thanks. And I usually don't run into people like that. Most people are just kind of either neutral or like, good fight, normal stuff. But I had no openers. He was just staring in my face. Anytime I try to go into offensive, he'd just do a zone attack, which he could do at his leisure. I couldn't do a backstep light because he could just keep walking forward and parry it or deflect it. Mostly he'd parry it. I couldn't do Celtic Curse because he was into it. If I tried to do a cancel, he would just parry it. If I saw feinted into it, he would zone attack. It was a lot of things that just weren't going to go well. And I couldn't touch him. I couldn't do anything about it, and he apparently just doesn't like Highlander. And that was the only time I have hit my table, because I'm not a physical person when it comes to like getting rid of anger. I tend to deal with anger very well, but I don't hit things to get rid of it. And that was the only time that a fist came down on this. And I was hot, I was red-faced, and I just sat there, I turned off For Honor for a bit, and I was questioning my life. I was questioning, like, why have I chosen this character to play, and why is he so awful? And I'm still to the point where, like, I think he needs some changes, both changes to damage and other things. There's a video on it. I'm not going to go into depth on that. It'll take too long. But that was the worst. That was the absolute worst. I've been salty before. I don't send hate mail. But that made me absolutely furious, and I had to stop playing. And that was actually the reason I took a break from Highlander and got like 35 reps in Shaolin. And for a long time, I was the Shaolin main, because Highlander was so frustrating because of that moment and some other factors that I won't mention, dealing with a certain somebody. So, yeah, that was bad. That was real bad. Great question. And the moment in front of it makes me say, this is why I keep playing. This actually has two answers. One is I keep playing. Like, the things that makes me keep playing is running into really cool people who, whether I win, they lose, or vice versa. just make you think like, wow, that was an awesome fight. Like, I had fun with that. They had fun with that. This is what the game's supposed to be like. That, like, even if you lost or got pounded, everyone had a really good time, and it doesn't matter because it's just going to be another match, and you almost want to rematch them, and sometimes you do. Those kind of people. And the other half are the people that recognize me and that I run into during duels or through gameplay, because I also love, like, Bot Breach. That's my guilty pleasure. Because I love storming a castle, I just don't love trying that hard. So it's those people. I've gotten a couple messages from people like, hey, I love your content. It's so awesome to run into you. And usually I add them up. Sometimes I don't. Depends. But, it's those moments that, like, hey, I recognize you and you're awesome. Like, that sort of stuff really, like, makes my day. Some of it makes my week. And it's just real feel good, you know? I could go on and on how awesome, like, people have been to me just by casually playing. But we'll cut it at that because we are out of questions. And we're also running into, like, 22 minutes. So, thank you everybody for these awesome questions. I'll probably do another one of these in a few months. And, of course, whenever you see me live streaming, you can come in and ask your question right then and there and don't have to wait a week afterwards. I promise. And with that, thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video.